We are a channel that appreciates its viewers. We give our utmost effort for the best quality content, and we even push for the highest quality effort when it comes to how we look for you on screen.
Hi. When I need my skin to look its absolute best when I'm blowing the heads off zombies, I set my ring light to 4700K. Because I care. Maybe he's born with it.
Join our community. Join a channel that loves its viewers. Join this channel because we care.
Woohoo! Made it through the intro without screwing it up too bad. How do you know when it's Friday at 8 p.m.? Because Say Wong starts talking shit. What's up, Say Wong? What's up, everybody out there? How's everybody doing on the screen tonight? Oh, is it what? Oh, who does it? Is it her? Is it me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
She's on the way.
How you doing tonight, Forrest?
I am doing, my brother. I'm just here on the Kyber Cave After Dark on my left screen, and in my middle screen, I'm editing Last of Us Episode 9.
Man, always multitasking, showing us all those sexy pics of hitting the gym. Feeling it, brother.
Trying. I got my Roshi shirt tonight, and I bought a shirt. I mean, I was like, yeah, get the 2X, it'll be fine. It's too damn big. I'm like, yes, wasting my money, but yes.
Well, see, if you're gonna have to waste your money in one direction, I'd rather buy it too big than too small, right? It's an affirmation of where you're going.
Dude, I bought it from GameStop. It'll shrink when I wash it, guaranteed. Watch.
Oh yeah. Does it say it's pre-shrunk? Because if it says it's pre-shrunk, it'll shrink. That's the way it goes.
All I know is it's got Roshi on the back, and I had to buy it, so I'm just really happy I got it. I was freaking out in the middle of the store, and the guy is like, "You found the Roshi shirt?" And I was like, "Yeah, found the damn Roshi shirt." And I picked it up. So we were joking about that, and yeah, man, it's been an interesting weekend. And
nice.
The week is just now ending.
There you go.
It is. You have you only work like 3 days a week, right? So what 3 days do you work? Is it always the same?
So yeah, it's Monday through Wednesday, but this week I worked 4 days. So yesterday was like super hella tied up. But I'm free now.
Well,
I'm getting stuff done.
I say you got some cha-ching, some cheddar cheese.
Yeah, she's right about that. Abso-friggin-lutely.
That's always a good thing. That one extra day makes a huge difference too.
How are you, leader of this mess of merry men and women?
You're not talking to me, are you?
Yes. Yes, I'm talking to you, Mr. Leader of Kyber Cave.
Yeah. Oh man, it has been crazy. You know what? It's like obviously my whole brain is on KYBER CON 3 right now, trying to make sure this gets together. By the way, we have our first sponsor, the fabulous They Mostly Pod Out at Night. Mostly is an official sponsor for KYBER CON 3. So he will have merch that we'll be giving away. Distance Nerding every hour is going to be doing giveaways and drawings and things like that. So there'll be some of that merch out there, and then some of that merch will also be on the Kyber Cave booth, which I'm hoping I can get at least Aubrey or Anthony to come out and sit at the Kyber Cave booth all day long and promote the show.
Did you guys get to watch Tommy do his? He did a breakdown.
Mm-hmm. I finally saw. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude! I saw that. I saw that and screamed like a little girl, and started posting out.
Yeah, hopefully that drives 4,000 subscribers over here, and like 800 or 900 purchases to the Kyber Cave store. People are paying attention to all the gaming stuff, and it's like, oh wow, we didn't know these people did this. And they edit, and they do voices, and and we have a drag queen, and they have a horror guy, and they have a fat guy who makes video game stuff, and they got all kinds of stuff.
And a fat girl that likes to scream at the video games.
Are you talking about me?
Well,
Jen, it is high time. Girl, it is high time we got you on another gaming video.
Oh, yeah, I need to. I really
we're overdue.
It's
time to get you back.
Especially Callisto Protocol. Yeah.
Yes.
I have to be careful. Great. My dogs now, like anytime I scream or whatever, they're always like, "What was that?" So.
Yeah. So, Frey Girl, what's up with you this week?
Me and Nyla, I actually finished playing the Lego Star Wars saga. So that took me. It was like all 9 of them, and it took me about a week and a half, maybe a week. So my son and I are playing it on a separate load together, and then I was like, well, I want to play this now, so I finished it. I just went and redid it all myself.
Nice.
Are you a completist?
Well, yeah, so I finished the story mode. I've got to go back to each episode and make sure I get True Jedi and all that fun stuff, but I actually finished it. So I was like, because I hadn't played the last 3. I thought I did, but I hadn't played them, so I was really excited to play them. So.
Well, only Force Awakens came out in Lego. It wasn't until the Skywalker Saga that 8, 9 came out. Yeah.
Well, that's probably why. I was like, I've never seen any of this stuff.
Yep.
What the heck? Yeah. So, and when Force Awakens came out, my son was out of the Lego games, and so now he's back into it, and he keeps saying we should get Lego. Like, he's the one that mentioned it. He got it for Christmas, so I was like, all right. So that's basically what I've been doing. Being a housewife, making sure the dogs are happy, making sure the husband's happy. Same old.
All the typical stuff.
Discord for modding for new rock stars, that kind of fun stuff.
All right. Graveyard.
Yes.
Your weekend.
It's been good. Like I said, I don't know if you saw, we're going to be seeing Bruce Campbell at Bruce-orama in Chicago. I'm excited.
That's what day is that?
That's like April 21st or 23rd.
Yeah. Was it last year? You brought that up on one of the sometime when we were talking about that. That's freaking exciting.
Oh yeah, I'm stoked because he does a trivia game about horror and sci-fi stuff. So with Salem and I there, and you do well enough that you get to be on stage and play with him as well. I'm hoping one of us gets to get on stage.
Yeah, dude. It'll be kind of a travesty if you don't.
I know, but
I might have to change your podcast to something else.
That's true. I mean, yeah, but we did get the VIP passes, so we are gonna meet him anyway separately. So that's cool. Photo op, all that stuff. Are you
gonna get him to like autograph your arm and then get that tattooed?
I mean, there's no room on the arm. I have the arm for it, but
you got a whole forehead.
He's not wrong. Let's see, back of the neck.
Yeah.
How about your legs?
I mean,
they'll sign a leg.
That's true. It's true. I don't have space for a tramp stamp, so I can't do it there.
I think you should at least try it. Be like, hey, Bruce, and lift up your shirt and be like, can you sign here? And see what he does. Then go, no, I'm kidding, Pizza Papa.
Yeah.
on my ankle right
And then this came in.
Oh, your proton pack.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Say Wong got his. You got yours in already, right? Say Wong. Wasn't he like one of the first ones to get his in?
Yeah, California got him a lot sooner than out here.
Oh, so how do you like it? Was it worth the wait?
2 years wait? Yes, absolutely. I kickstarted it the day it dropped. I kickstarted it, and I was excited.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm hoping then to get.
How good is the pack? Is it like pretty high quality?
Yeah. It's about 25-ish pounds.
Oh wow.
So I'm getting the Alice LC1 pack frame for it, so it's more authentic to Ghostbusters 1. And then I'm gonna get the custom flight suit with Graveyard for the name tag.
Go.
And then
there's a place there's an actual Ghostbuster squad here in Oklahoma, and
really?
they go out to you've probably seen them. They go to different conventions.
Okay.
But I know we used to have a convention here in Tulsa, and they were there all the time. So I used to see them constantly. So I thought of you when when I was thinking about him the other day. So I was like, hey.
Yeah, and then
we have a couple of them out in the Bay. They drive like the cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They go to a lot of the movie premieres and stuff. But we have like 2 squads in the Bay, with Sacramento and San Francisco area.
Nice.
That's cool.
And then
what was I gonna say? Oh, it's like the 501st.
501st, yeah.
Yeah, 501st. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Graveyard?
And then I watched Adam Savage tweak his pack even more to be more authentic. So I'm like, now I have to do that too. Thanks, Adam Savage.
Right. Damn it, I thought I was done.
Yeah. So they essentially there's the ribbon cable and the yellow cord that holds the wires are not the right yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it.
Oh. So. It's so funny how like cosplayers, especially the ones that are really are just like, it's not the correct tint of yellow. We've got to redo it. It won't be correct.
I mean, it's fair. That's fair. And then, like I said, once I get that, and then I discussed a couple months ago, I want to do the Jedi robes.
Yes.
But which ones? Do you want to do like the prequel ones? Do you want to do Old Republic? Do you want to do New Republic? Do you want to do?
Oh, it's going all black. All
First
black.
Order. There are several types.
Yeah, it's going to be what Luke wears in Return.
Okay. Oh yeah.
That's
where
why I want
like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's probably the best.
Because that's the saber I have is episode 6, so I might as well complete the costume.
Hey, yeah, I'm an ROJ like #1 fan. I was in the fan club when it came out. I have 8x10 glossies of all of them.
You're what now?
I was in the Return of the Jedi fan club in '83.
Oh shit! Nope. Play that game.
I couldn't be one in '83.
Yeah, so. It's okay. You're young.
No,
not really.
Nope, honey.
I'm just an only child that had parents that that had parents that were like, oh, you want this? Okay, go ahead. It was
wow.
They like to throw money at problems instead of talk to me or whatever. So, but
were they Asian?
I'm good.
You come from an Asian household?
No. It's worse. It was an Irish Catholic Baptist household.
Wow.
And Say Long's right. I need a PKE meter and a trap. Yes, I do. Need a trap. But the traps are stupid expensive. I'm hoping they make one.
I have to say this. So, in one of them, you go to Kashyyyk in one of the things, and so we were in. It was, I guess, the 3rd episode in the game, and so you go to Kashyyyk, and the whole time I'm like, playing this game, and I'm Yoda, and then there's Tarful's there, and in the back of my head, I'm just going, I did it all for the Wookiee. I did it all for the Wookiee. But I don't do it like that. I did it all for the Wookiee, because that's how Jabba the Hutt says it, and it irritates my husband so much. And I do it more because it irritates him so much. So I'm like going through and I'm like, I did it all for the Wookiee.
You said that's who says it? You're talking about the character from Solo?
No, so Jabba, when he's talking about Wookiees and
Jabba.
Yeah, and the other Hutts in Book of Boba Fett, they did it too. They did the Wookiee like that, and I couldn't remember where I got it from. So I was like, "Oh my god, it's the Hutts!" That's where I got it. So
there's that other character.
Wookiee.
Yeah. There's that other character I thought you were referring to that does a similar thing in Solo. I can't remember the name of the character, but he's got like the 4 arms or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And if you've seen Solo, which a lot of people haven't, he was like, "There's nothing like falling asleep in the lap of a Wookiee."
Yeah.
So that's what I thought you were referring to. I was like, "Oh God, that irritates me when he says Wookiee like that."
Well, trust me, if I'm singing it over and over again, every time I see a Wookiee on screen, it would irritate you the way I did. But I can't help it. And the husband, he's like, please stop doing that. please stop doing that. And I'm like, what? I did it all for the wookie.
See, I only get 2 songs stuck in my head. Is the seagull song,
Mm-hmm.
and the Yoda, the
bad lip reading, and then my backpack Scott Jets. I'm Boba.
Oh wow! Wow, you had to dig old school for that one. Jesus.
What is that song that Weird Al does? Isn't it called Yoda?
He does several of them.
He does Yoda. Yoda he does The Saga Begins.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
Yoda's to the to
Lola
from Eric Clapton. But dude, The Saga Begins, dude. That if you know the backstory to how he wrote that song, that is like so incredible to me, because people wouldn't really know it now. But if you remember, if you were alive when that came out, his video for that song released before the movie released.
Wow. That's crazy. That's
right. Yeah. So what he did was George Lucas, before the release of Phantom Menace, there was a couple charity events where he did early screenings of Phantom Menace for, very exclusive crowds for a lot of money. So Weird Al bought a ticket and snuck in and watched Phantom Menace and took notes so that he could write The Saga Begins and release the video before the Phantom Menace movie came out.
Wow.
Dude, that man's a genius, dude.
He is.
I still contend that he is one of the master lyricists of all times.
He's good, and he's quick. He's good and quick with lyrics, and can make lyrics out of other songs, take other songs and make. I've always thought that it was really cool. I've liked Weird Al for a little while.
I have not seen a genre he hasn't been able to imitate yet. Especially he blew me away when he would do when he did White and Nerdy with the high speed rapping and everything, and I was like, damn.
And I liked his Nirvana cover. I thought that was great, and that video was.
It smells like Nirvana.
Yeah. I was like, I loved it. I was like, man, I can't believe he did such a good job. So.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's the first time we got off topic, or third time, or something.
We haven't even hit topic yet.
We're off topic.
You can't go off topic. There is no topic.
All right, I see how it is. Mutiny on board. Let's get to a damn topic. All right, we got 2 topics tonight. One seems a lot more interesting. The other one, let's start with this one, because I think this one might be able to run for a while, because I have very many thoughts on this one. Is it not popping up? Do you guys see anything?
No, yeah. Why are so many middle-aged people so lonely?
Dude, what is wrong with my computer? I cannot see crap. Okay, I'm gonna try this, and then let's try it again. So weird. Okay, it's there now.
Yeah.
Why are so many middle-aged people so lonely? I was actually the one that brought this topic up, because I had heard on news reports, and they had stated it as, why are middle-aged men so lonely? But I know a lot of women that are in the same situation and position that I'm in. I think saying that it's a middle-aged man problem is a little outdated now. I think it's kind of something we're all moving into. And I'm wondering, is it the internet? Is it just that we're torn apart from each other? Is it that we're working too much? Is it that we don't have enough money to go out and see our friends? Is it that we don't have energy to go see our friends? Is it all of the above?
Yes. What age are we classifying?
Or is it even true? I mean, is that just an old myth that needs to die? Are people in the middle age maybe going out together more or something? I don't think that's the case, but
I mean, what do we consider middle age here? Am I middle age yet?
Yeah. Well, I figure, I figure it seems to me, I don't know, probably in your 30s or so, it seems like a lot of your friends, especially when you get to the end of your 30s, a lot of the friends that you were close with, you start losing as many tight connections. You start whittling down your group of friends to, maybe 4 or 5 close friends or something like that. If even that, I mean, it's I hate to say it, but but like my only friends are the people I'm looking at on the screen right now. You know what I mean?
I love you too, buddy.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I don't go out anywhere. You know what I mean? Right. I don't. I like I said, every once in a while when Distance Nerding would do a movie premiere, I drive up to SAC just to hang out with them or whatever. But mostly if I'm going out, it's with my kid. I don't go out with people my age.
I think a big part of it, and I can speak to just briefly in my experience and have other people talk to, is when I hit my 20-year reunion in May of last year, the amount of people that are my age that haven't even started having kids yet was insane.
Right.
Realistically. And I think a lot of it is, especially as you get married, as you have kids, your friends that aren't generally in that same path as you tend to become alienated, that they don't feel like they're part of the group anymore, right? I think just part of getting older is, I always thought my parents didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I didn't see them do a lot of stuff, but like the people I hang out with on a regular basis are people I've known for 20 plus years.
Right. Do you still hang out with people? Like, do you do like Sunday nights with friends or?
We used to do, when my wife started working again, she was working every weekend and I had the kids. I'm like, okay, this is getting boring. This before podcasts, this is like 5 years ago, let's say. And I go, okay, what can I do? So we decided to have geek game night at my house.
Right.
So people would come over, we drink beer, we play Munchkin, Cards Against Humanity, all stuff like that.
Right.
Then pandemic hit, and then we got the splitting of beliefs and politics, and that ruined a lot of stuff too.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think about how maybe I'm not saying anything for or against, but the Trump administration in general might have made friends that were maybe close kind of break apart or not be as close. Really quick, I want to say what's up, Aubrey, and what's up, Jedi Rogier.
Hello.
Jedi Rogier. Jedi says really quick, and I think a lot of people since the pandemic keep more to themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would say that is accurate.
Yeah.
Aubrey, do you think people might keep more to themselves because of fear of the pandemic or like spreading things, or just because it became so much the custom in the year that you just got used to being by yourself?
Yes, I think that's actually it more than because socially, because as humans we adapt, right? Because that's how we survive. We have to adapt to the situation. So you acclimate to a situation where you're alone constantly. And then afterwards, it's hard to get back into the acclimating of people because you're not used to anymore. Because we've had 2 years, almost 3 years of this, and you got used to finally, in a way. I mean, for me, it was finally like dealing with yourself. I mean, like, hey, I actually like being alone. And I think that was true for a lot of people. It's like, oh, I don't need people, or don't need people. I'm just saying, like, I think in a way, people keeping to themselves is like they just got acclimated. It's just having to get back. Now you have to get back into those habits.
Even yesterday, I was talking to John Harder at Waterfront Comics, and he was talking about the difference between since the pandemic. He's like, man, I got a 70-inch TV at home. He's like, what do I need to go to the movie theater for anymore? He's like, nowadays, I just wait. If there's something I want to see, I just wait 3 months and it's on my favorite streaming service. So
that's true.
That's kind of changed the game too. I think, things that maybe we used to do, I don't know, maybe out of habit, or that's just what we were used to doing before the pandemic. Maybe the pandemic made us stop and think, hey, do we really need to be going to the bars all the time? Or,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could say that it's more of you have all these streaming services, and it used to be that everything was like a group activity. You'd go and watch things together, but now they make it so individualized and privatized that I think it can for some people cause them to be even more isolated because now they can watch their own things, huh? What?
Were you gonna say?
I'm just saying these are factors, huh?
Was Graveyard about?
Yeah, with Aubrey's point too, and I think also with more and more being you don't have to that point, be in person. I don't have to be sitting next to someone to play a video game with them. I don't have the same couch. I don't have to do all the stuff. I can FaceTime. I can do, video chats. I can do Zooms. I don't have to be physically next to the person to see them.
Right.
And we were growing up, obviously, we didn't have cell phones either. Just like, all right, I'm going to go outside and see who's out. That's who I'm hanging out with today.
Right. Whoever's out on the corner.
Yeah. Right.
Or you met him at the mall. Remember meeting people at the mall?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's part of it too. It's just as much as you like to think, as more interconnected the world is, the more you can talk to people elsewhere, the less social stuff you're doing in person in your local area. It's like the quote from Cable Guy. You can play Mortal Kombat with your friend in Vietnam, right?
Right.
The future is now.
Right. I mean, so yeah, I mean, you don't have the couch co-ops are pretty much dead for video gaming. That you can do seniors and watch movies with people and talk to them at the same time. So it's really changed, I would say.
Right.
Just our dynamic interacting with people on a daily basis, because we interact with more people through our computers and cell phones than we probably ever did growing up.
Well, I mean, it's newer. I mean, we still don't have even enough studies to show the long-term effects of this new platform of how the internet. We're still learning how all those effects affect people. So it's really interesting. Yeah. So I'm just piggybacking on your point now. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm wondering, obviously it wasn't the pandemic that was the reason we started using the internet and using Zoom. Obviously, we had all these technologies before. Do you think the pandemic just kind of kicked it in the ass and really made it more
accelerated it vastly? It went faster than it was normally supposed to go.
Well, and I think that it also doesn't. I think some empathy has been lost, and so people are reticent to go back out because they haven't found empathy on the social media platforms or the internet, and so they don't want to go and trust people in real life as much. I think I had when I was younger, during my first marriage, I had the shouldas. I called it the shouldas, or the supposed to's. I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to have a child. I'm supposed to be this, have a career. I'm supposed to do all of this,
Right.
And when I realized after having my son and almost dying, and him almost dying, that I'm going to do what I want to do and not worry about what I am supposed to do or what I should do. And I think that helped out a lot. I have a few core friends that are friends with me and my husband. And then I have a friend that she moved to North Carolina. I don't get to see her that much, but still we talk. So, I mean, there are other forms of interconnecting with people, but I think a lot of people that are middle-aged, that they feel lonely, and it could be because they're in that I'm supposed to do all of this, and they're not realizing who they are and not being true to who they are, because not everybody's gonna have the same path. And when I realized that, I was like, well, I could be alone, I could be with someone. I wasn't even planning on getting married to my husband, and my son got that all started. So, I mean, we were just gonna live together and be happy with it and not really even mess with anything. But
do
I
you
think that's part of it.
Do you think that this is then maybe when we say, why is the middle-aged man, so lonely, or why are middle-aged people in general so lonely? Do you think this is more of a modern phenomenon? Because when I think back, to our country in general, think back a few generations ago, there were more married families. People were more likely to get together for Sunday dinners or go out to church and then, go to brunch after with their church friends or whatever like that. Do you think that because technology has changed and just cultural changes in general? Because I was the same way. I didn't have my child until I was 36 when he was born. And that was, by the time my kid was graduating from preschool, all my friends their kids were graduating from, high school and college already. So, I do sometimes suffer a lot from the I should haves. And I wonder, has social media brought on kind of that lonely feeling, because I'm looking at other people with their marriages and their, what I'm supposed to have done, right? Their nice careers and things like that. And I'm not at that point in my life. Maybe I'm causing it on to myself, and I don't know.
Well, I mean that, and I guess it's more that people are seeing this artificialness of relationships on social media, because you know how it is. You don't want, like, I had my hair up. Perfect example. I had my hair up, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna keep my hair up. And I was like, no, my chin looks a little fat tonight. I'm gonna take my hair down. I'm gonna scrunch it up and make it, because I'm making myself look more presentable. You do that on social media. So you got these people that have these relationships, and they could have abusive relationships, but all they post is pictures of them happy together, smushy faces and stuff, and you would never know it. I mean, I watch so much true crime that I'm like, I don't trust anything on social media now, because of that. And I think that's part of it. It's that artificialness of the relationships, and why is everybody else so happy and I'm not? And it's more, you got to look inside to be happy and not outside. And that's my basic mantra for life is, hey, I got to look inside to be happy. And if I can't do that, then I'm not going to be happy no matter what I see. So, and it's a struggle.
Roger over here says something I never even thought about. We had a whole pandemic baby. Wife worked from home, so no one ever saw us. I never even thought about the fact that people like had time to have babies, like brand new human beings popped up that didn't exist in a family before that.
Oh,
Did you have something you want to say? Are you like raising your hand?
Oh yes, I'm me, Hermione. I'm like me. Okay.
You need to go to the bathroom, Aubrey.
No. I'm like, I have the answers.
You need a hall pass.
So his history. I'm apologize in advance. This might be a little mini rant. So you were talking about the previous generations. That they stayed married for long periods of time. Well, that is because women couldn't, and that divorce was not seen as a thing. Women could not file for divorce. Women could not own property until the 60s.
Well,
and
yes,
we couldn't even have a credit card till the 70s. And the Violence Against Women Act wasn't even passed until the 90s. So women didn't have a lot of options. There wasn't a chance for us to be like, hey, I don't like this relationship, it's not good for me, and leave. I'm not saying that all of those are that reasons. I'm just saying that divorce wasn't an option for people.
And none of that was under debate. And in fact, that was why I kind of said the middle-aged person was lonely, whereas the original article I had read was talking about the middle-aged man. And I was, like I said, I kind of felt like, I feel like there's a lot of women in the same boat that I'm in as well.
There have actually been studies, I mean, it's not always true, but there have been studies that show that women are actually happier single than men. Men do not do well being single. Women do. I don't know why that is. I mean, I don't know what the factors are of that, but that is something that has been shown clearly from studies.
I could see that. I mean, strictly from a biological point of view, like, I don't know if you've ever seen that thing on, and I don't know what the numbers are, but you'll recognize it if you've seen it. But it talks about like how many average words a male tends to say in a day versus the average amount of words that a woman will say in a day, and a woman's is like double more or more. But the other thing too is that women tend to be better communicators. So so a middle-aged man, like they always make fun of like the guy that never wants to ask for directions, right? A middle-aged man probably would be less inclined to ask for help or communicate to others that they needed help. Whereas I'm guessing a middle-aged woman would probably have a better support system around her probably of
it's a factor.
friends.
Yeah, I would say that's most likely a factor.
Yeah, unless she's in a circumstance where she came from an abusive relationship where she couldn't have friends, or she's moved to a new place and she's trying to start over or something like that. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I agree with you. I also think that there is a interesting amount of emotional labor that goes into it. Women pick up a lot more emotional labor than men, and so when men are alone, they have to do a lot of that emotional labor for themselves, and they don't.
What does that
They
mean?
don't know how to
Emotional
acclimate
labor.
it.
What does that mean? Emotional labor.
I don't want to explain what emotional.
It's like
well, you can't say that. You can't use this part of the definition. Not tell me what the hell it means.
I'm just
because
okay.
I'm fucking ignorant doesn't mean I should be part of this conversation.
No, you should be absolutely. I'm just like this is the part of that. No, emotional labor is the idea of doing something for someone without being asked to. It's an expectation that is put without being communicated otherwise, that is just expected. Women take that on a lot. They're just expected to do things.
Right.
And that's something that gets ingrained on us even from when we were little. Like when we were little and we had Thanksgiving, it was expected of all the girls to go and clean up and do the dishes and do that. And the boys got to go play. That was an expectation. So what that taught to the women is that, oh, I must do all of these duties. And it comes without even being talked about, or asked, or even communicated with. It's getting better. I'm just saying that this is something that's being really spread awareness about, is like the idea of splitting emotional labor and the amount of emotional labor women carry. That's just expected. And it's something that's not, that hasn't as much of a community. It's a miscommunication, but it also has to do with the way society was, and again, historically, and it's not. It's.
Yeah, I definitely think that's something that's shifting and changing over time.
Yes.
And it's a little bit different culturally too. Like,
yes,
I remember when I went to, and my son is 14 now, so this probably would have been probably 10 years ago. But I remember going to a party at a friend, and it was a Hispanic family's friend. And I remember at one point my son had a poopy diaper, so I was in the bedroom changing his diaper, and I didn't close the door. And like the husband walked by and just kind of looked at me weird, and then just walked back. And then I got a comment from my friend Maria, because I worked with Maria, and she was saying that her husband thought I was this super guy or something like that, because I changed diapers and he wasn't used to seeing men change diapers or whatever. Now, I say that only to say that in America in general, I see the shifts changing, and I see it not being as expected. However, it moves slower in certain pockets, through different cultures, because it's more ingrained, especially like brown people cultures.
Oh, absolutely. I think it is. I think it's definitely changed even within my generation and the generation after us. Yeah, it has gotten better. This is why we have the awareness of it. It's why it's becoming much more pronounced of that. It's because the distribution of labor, it is getting better. There is getting a balance, but there's also still some of that left over from that older generation of that, and it does exist in some pockets. So it's just an interesting. So I'm just saying that could be a factor of why men tend to be more lonely than women.
Right.
I mean, it could go as far back as like when we were all in tribes. The men went out and they got food, and the women stayed back and cooked, and so it was a different dynamic. And so that was what you could do. But
this has actually been proven not to be true. Women actually were hunters and gatherers as well. Yeah.
Well, no.
This is social. Yeah. This is actually scientific research. They found out through that women also just as equally hunted and gathered.
I was like, I swear I heard that women went and did it too, but but you see the societal norms of that, and men gathering in groups to hunt. or gathering in groups to whatever, just like women did, so you could see that. And so if you are cut off from your hunting party, so to speak, then you could be lonely. I think part of it, and why so many people say they are lonely, it comes down to finding happiness outside yourself. And that's, whether it's, I don't know, like I know Aubrey and Mezzo, they go for coffee, right? You guys go for coffee all the time, and so that's something that they do together, and it's kind of a,
Fred, we wish you lived here so you could go to coffee.
I know, right? I would love to. but I'm just using an example. But I'm sure Aubrey finds happiness in herself on the days that she's not having coffee with Mezzo, and Mezzo's the same way. Yeah, we have other things in our lives, like children and other people in our lives, like siblings or spouses or whatever. People we're dating, people we're not dating, whatever you're into. But you do need that attention to you, that physical touch every now and then.
Well,
but loneliness is more than just physical touch. It's you can have emotional loneliness too, and be in a relationship for years and years and years. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's something that, like, as weird as it sounds, or maybe people don't want to talk about it because it sounds weird. It's something that I think about and deal with, like, other than, kind of like play fighting with my kid. It's probably been years since I've touched another person, little hugs to teachers, other coworkers and things like that. But I mean, actually, like, held somebody's hand or had like a deep emotional hug or sat close to somebody, you know what I mean? Like, and I think about how, and I wonder too, with me at least, and I don't know if maybe other people have experienced this or feel this way, but I think the process of getting older too has hardened me. I've had people that I loved and could never imagine backstabbing me, stabbing me in the back. People that literally my best friend since the 6th grade, lived in my house when he was out on the street. You know what I mean? My son's favorite uncle. You know what I mean? People that you couldn't ever imagine doing anything to you. And then when those things happen, it just makes it harder and harder to get into other relationships, or maybe you feel like you don't want to be as emotionally open with other people, or like I can I can survive at these limits, you know what I mean? As long as all of you are just people on a screen, I can survive, you know what I mean? But honestly, like, I know with me, and as stupid as this sounds, but like, if I get into an individual room with any of you, and Aubrey may or may not be able to attest to this because she's the only person I've been in a room with, I sometimes get very awkward, especially if it's just me and you. Like, I don't know what to say or what to do, or I feel like I'm supposed to be talking about lightsabers or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I can get personal at all. Like, I don't think Aubrey will ever tell you that I've had a personal conversation with her about like what was going on in my life. Anytime I've ever talked to her, it's always been about business or lightsabers or events or something like that.
Or KCP or it's never been. So I was gonna to piggyback and jump on this of like, when I say the emotional labor of women, the downside of with men, and you talk about with men being more lonely, is that men do get starved from platonic affection. They don't. They get pushed away from anything that's touch or anything like that is considered sexual. They're not taught to have platonic relationships.
Right.
They're not taught to have platonic affection. So when people do, it can be often misconstrued, or the whole thing of like men can't be friends with women or have any of that kind of thing without there being a romantic meaning for it. Right. This happens because usually starts at the age of 10. You no longer can like hug your mom too long, or your dad, or you can't be perceived this way or that way. Again, these are social norms that are changing, but this is also a huge factor in that men don't really know how to. I'm not saying you guys are great and all, but I'm just saying men don't the platonic affection is really lost, and so they don't touch. And a lot of men whose love language is touch, and I don't mean that in a romantic language, I mean like as literal term of like love, how you receive love, how you give love, platonic or other, whatever, in all its various forms. That can really starve a person, and they can feel lonely from that too. And because when they do find a romantic partner, they tend to put all of that emotional starving, all that physical starving. Hey,
What's up,
and
Charles?
they put all that into the romantic partner, and so it's really hard for once that breaks apart to really what was I saying? To branch out and to have those relationships that are so important.
Bro, hugs need to come back.
Any kind of
Definitely
hugs,
agree.
just hugs. Like we don't need to
Yeah,
sexualize hugs. Like
and
hugs are just hugs.
Aubrey,
Yes,
I
and
think you're.
everybody should say "I love you" to people that
Yes.
they love. Friends, I tell my friends all the time, "I love you." I do the
Yeah.
little heart hands. I'm huge on the heart hands. I love doing that to people. Yeah, and
I actually love everybody in this group here. Just so you know, I love
I love you
Anthony. I
guys to
love Matt.
pieces.
I love Jen. I absolutely love Aaron. And I know the silent KCP hubby over there. He's just being completely quiet.
No, I
It's
honestly,
important.
I haven't really thought about it, but I think there's a lot to what Aubrey
I
said.
love
We all love Mez.
We love
Yes.
We
you
could not survive
so
without Mez. Mez is our
I
air.
love you too.
Okay, so for example, I work at a school, and I work at a special needs school, and it's not all women, but there tends to be a high number of women there. And for example, the women in my classroom, like, they're all single. Some of them are a little younger. I wouldn't say they're all middle age, but they're not teenage women anymore. They're not early 20s women, but they all go out together. You know what I mean? And then, like, when they come in, like, they're always, "Oh, I love you," and they hug each other, and you know what I mean. The guys in the classroom don't do that at all, but I can see the difference. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over here, and the other thing too is, I think, like, man, I was thinking about what you were saying about a lot of times there's perception about men and women being friends. So, so just like you and Mez going to coffee, and then, Frey, right off the bat, like, Mez is saying, "Oh, I wish Frey could be there too." None of the fucking guys were included in that conversation. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm just saying that it just seems natural that way, right? Girls go out with the girls, boys go out with the boys. That's how we're kind of.
That's completely ingrained in I want to say every child, even to this day. I mean, think about when you have boys PE, girls PE. You have boy sports, girls sports. You have the boy girl dances. The first one, everyone's been to that awkward dance where all the boys stand on one side and all the girls stand on the other, and no one dances. So
right.
It's called the Dutch way of dancing.
But I mean, it's ingrained in us so early in life that, hey, no, you hang out with girls because you're a girl, you hang out with boys because you're a boy. And now that a lot of younger people they're more fluid with their pronouns, with who they are, it's changing, and everybody's kind of commingling. So hopefully a few years from now we won't have as many middle-aged people feeling lonely, because the barriers will be breaking down. But for those of us now, we're kind of in that awkward stage of, what the heck do I do with my hands when I'm talking to somebody that I know really well online, but not in person, But it's that, and that's part of it too, whatever. I mean, I have to say, like, since I haven't been working, I really I loved it before, but it's more of a, hey, I get to talk to people that I don't sleep with every night or didn't birth, I actually get to talk to people that I can talk about other stuff. And so I really enjoy it. And I think this type of stuff is great too. Having those, even if you can't meet in person, having Zoom calls or whatever, so that you can talk to your friends or your relatives if you are really connected to your relatives. That's another thing. And I think that's it. People are feeling really blocked off, and it's creating walls, whether they want the walls there or not, and that can make anyone feel lonely. So,
Forrest, what do you got to say about all this? You've been awful quiet editing
Yeah.
over there. Now I do realize you're
Silent
kind of
over there.
well. I guess you and Grave are both married men, so maybe these don't apply to you. I mean, does it apply to married people?
Oh yeah.
Let's throw Grave on. Grave obviously has some thoughts on this.
No, it's. I would say, and this is why I have to be very precarious with my balance of the podcast and doing stuff with Kyber, is to make sure, that I'm hanging out with my wife as much as possible and my kids as well. It's that balancing act to make sure, she's feeling there, I'm emotionally there for her, or that I'm to be there and enjoy watching stupid movies and not worry about like horror movies. I have to watch all those crap horror movies sometimes that she doesn't want to watch at all.
Mano Santa Fe.
Oh yes. But it's I mean, I think it is a thing. Like, when she wasn't working, she wanted to go hang out with people that weren't people at her house and to have other conversations with people, because I'm quite boring. And, and it's that need.
No.
Her need for that was different than my need, because I generally through IMs or texts or chats always talk to my close friends on an almost daily basis. So I don't really, I was going out and hanging out with a group of people. We were doing trivia nights every Tuesday, and I go, okay, I do that. You go out at night with your friends too, and go do something. Go get coffee every once in a while. I don't care if you want to do that. You need that outlet. You need that connection. And I think that's important to also have as well. You got to have your separate time and stuff like that. Most of our friends are both of our friends. Like, because some of my friends I've known longer than I've known her. I known my best friend since I was 10. So it's just like we hang out, but for him, it's because he's my age, not married, no kids, and doesn't know what to do around my family. So when I got married, all that stuff, we separated out a bit. But now it's just I go over to his place and we just play video games. Quite honestly, drink.
But you make the effort.
Yeah,
you guys make the effort. I mean,
Jedi Rozier says,
"Yeah,
absolutely." Addie looked around, and people with their phones and not interacting.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We're more.
I see that more and more. Actually,
we are more connected to our.
What?
I remember one time. I don't know. I want to say my kid. I want to say my kid was like 7 or something like that, and we were at a restaurant. And we were just talking, and we were coloring on the little, mat things that they have, and doing the little kids activities together. And I was getting ready to pay my bill, and the waitress had told me that my dinner had already been paid for, and I was like, okay. I was like, how, who, or what, or how? He pointed over to this older gentleman and his wife or whatever, and I went over there to, I was like, I don't know why you did that. Thank you. And he was saying that it was because he's like, so many times you see, a dad and their kids, or, families and the kids, and they're all on the phone. He's like, I just like watching you guys interact. And I saw your son was so polite to the waitress. And he's like, I just wanted to buy you a dinner. I was like, well, wow, thank you. But I guess that goes to speak to how much of this is an epidemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron,
why are you being so quiet?
What about you, Mr. Force?
Because
you're up, Force.
You're up.
What do you want me? What do you want me to say? I mean, y'all pretty much covered it all.
And I want to see this.
We like to see a little more of this and not this.
Yeah, y'all pretty much hit it all.
He's like, you don't need me here. Well, why am I here?
No, we made him lonely by talking about it.
No, we've been talking around, Aaron. We love you, Aaron.
Well, I mean, let's before tonight, before After Dark, Forrest and I were hanging out and just chit chatting.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
making
right.
and tech stuff work.
Yep.
Well, having a good
No, and you know what? That's
whether it's go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say that's what's so interesting to me about this crew in particular, because I've worked with lots of other groups. I've owned video production companies before, and a lot of times when you see people like click up in groups, it's like, all right, these two people are hanging out, and then there's these three. But I love, especially on the gaming aspect, how there's just like so many different combinations of personalities on this crew. Like everybody can just intermingle and flip and flop with everybody else. I think that's a very rare thing to have, especially as groups start getting bigger. All right, well, it was good talking.
Yes.
All right, well, bye.
No, I agree. I've seen that. I've seen money get into channels, and the dynamic does really change. It can get quite toxic, actually. So it's good that we are taking active steps. It seems to not have that. Like if there's an issue, we talk about it. And it's an open communication, and we just actively do loving things for each other. Like these are acts of love, and you know, I don't want to say in a way, but that's just saying it. These are acts of love that we do for each other in a platonic way because we're friends. We're friends. I mean, not firstly, but we're friends, and we all want the same thing, and that makes a big difference. I think, you know.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
And we will not deal with toxicity in this group.
Well, I was going to say one of the things that.
We've already had to deal with it, and we kind of had to kind of come together.
Thanks for interrupting, Jen.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Jen.
Okay.
Go. Okay, look.
No, I was going to say that one of my favorite phrases is we lift up as we lift others up, we all rise. And I love that. It's so positive, and it's, let's be supportive of each other, and we'll get through it. And I think that is a really great thing. And I think that this crew, all of us, I think we all have that. We support each other on here, but we also support each other offline. We do things, and it's, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming when you're not used to it. I will say that I am the newer person on this, and I'm like, okay, all right. But
bro, can you comment down with the love, please? Can you just stop?
Just breathe. Can we just take a breath now? No, but I think it's great. You guys have been so welcoming and lovely, and I've really loved my time with all of you. So, and the game that the Crimson Snow thing was hilarious and so much fun. So I definitely want to do it again.
We loved having you.
Oh yes.
We need to do another like a group game thing. It'd be fun. Metz and I were actually talking about you joining us for the gamer and the gamer chicks when the gamer
I was thinking about that too. Like having us all just do like an all girls type thing. That would be fun too.
Something I've always wanted.
Where have I heard that? Well, that sounded like.
I mean, I don't know. I was only talking about that back in April of last year. I'm so glad it's happening.
I've been talking about that forever. That was how that. Well, in so many iterations. I just thought something too. If the three, because remember the original name, I hated the name so much. It was like Kyber Girls or something like that. Oh my god, I hated that name with passion.
Yeah, I didn't.
Wow.
But what about what about this? Since you're playing video game controllers, you could be the Stixie Chicks.
The Stixie Chicks.
That's at least more clever. I mean, I think you were trying to be clever with them being like GG, at least at first. But yeah, looking at it, it's like, no, we're not girls. We are women. We're
right. I just hated the girls part. Like, you're not girls. Yeah. You're women. Hear the roar. Rawr. But
let's not make ourselves smaller.
I always loved the idea of like the all girl gaming show. And not just like, like the e-gamer girl that's just trying to, like be cute on camera and, but just like real women having fun playing games together.
I swear like a sailor, so
Yeah, I do too.
that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
The Force has seen that.
On the Lego game, that Lego Star Wars saga, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, and I'm thinking, should I be cursing in front of the Legos? So,
Always.
Is it okay to curse during G-rated games?
Yeah. It's 7 and up. Should I be cursing right now?
Well, I mean, it says up, right? Up goes pretty high. So what do you think? I mean, is there it sounds like we're coming to a wrapping point on this one, but I don't know that our next topic has 55 minutes in it. We might need one of those backup topics, so someone get ready to roll with one of those.
So do the beep, beep,
Mez is saying she's editing shorts right now. Dude, those shorts for us have been blowing up for this channel. You guys have all been getting famous with these shorts.
They're so cute. I'm getting to like stuff. I have to go back and like everything. I'm like, I watch it and then I'm like, crap, I gotta go like it.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Don't forget to like the stuff. Yeah, the shorts are definitely helping the channel. So thank you, Mez. I know over at we had on Hearts of Kyber, like now that we know that Mez is doing it, like when something happens, we like try to look up at the camera and go like, oh, like crap it, write it down so she can clip it. Make sure you guys are doing that in your gaming channels too. If you know of something that would make a great clip, write the number down and just send that to Metz.
Oh yeah. She has access to my videos to help with that too. So
I typically take the funniest stuff and put it at the very beginning as an intro.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that on yours. I'm like, oh hey, that's a really funny thing. Oh, here it is in the video.
That's a great way to start too. That's how you hook them in. All right,
don't touch my videos. I edit them.
And coming out of this, is there a cure? Is there supposed to be a cure for this middle-aged loneliness thing, or are we just stuck in the middle of this transition of things? Because I really think, because we had to go through the pandemic, as our kids get older, like they're going to be more used to the isolation, whether that's good or bad. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm just saying that it's going to be more of the norm, whereas with us, it's not. It's we're the transition group right now.
Well, I mean, I would say, like I said earlier, you'd go onto your street and see who's out, and that's who you'd play with. My kids don't do that, and I think that's already just one generation away. That, like I said, we would just go out and see whoever's outside. That's our friend, right, for the day.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Right.
But it doesn't seem to be that case anymore. I don't see necessarily groups of kids just going to each other's houses all the time. It's more. I think it's even more isolated and more online active. So they generally only see their friends at school versus, going outside and just walking around the block and stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, I think that's...
Well, even, I remember at one point talking to my kid about his friends, and he was naming people online he had never met, not the people that he actually sees on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And some people are like that. And I don't know. I think I do think as a society we'll adapt to it. Like, the more, because when cell phones first came out, it was a huge deal and they were so expensive and everyone was like, oh, this isn't going to last or whatever. But now everybody's got one and, and we're like, okay, we've adapted to it and made it part of our life. Just like this, we'll adapt to other things. I'm obsessed with my phone, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I do think that we will as a society adapt, but we are in that transition period right now. So
cell phones are our triples.
Yeah. Oh,
I couldn't help it. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I love and hate my cell phone because I'm like, well, I've got all these mobile games on it and I want to do this and that. Oh, let me look this up or whatever. You're always on your phone. But we adapt to it. Like when I go out and we have dinner or whatever, I make sure that nobody's on the phone. We have conversations. We have dinners at the dinner table where we're not on our phones and stuff. Or we're playing a board game. none of us are on our phones. So you start to adapt to it. And I think as our next generation, like my son's going to be 20 in like 2 weeks. And, and, you know, he's fine with having friends online, and occasionally like he goes and does D&D every week with his friends, with like 2 or 3 of his friends, and he's cool with that. And you know, like, hey, that's you be you, that's great. Whereas when I was his age, I was out at the bars, my friends and I go out all the time. We weren't closed off, we were with everyone.
Right.
But I think it's just, it changes. We're just going to cycle through it, and then when the big EMP bomb hits and everything goes dead again, then we'll have to start all over again.
Well, you know, that's why I was so eager with Aubrey's D&D show, because I kind of noticed when I had the Kyber Cave, when we had a storefront in downtown Fairfield, we had Saber Battle nights, and at that same time we had card game nights. So there was a group of people that would go in the back and play, you know, actually it was card games and D&D. Like they would switch different nights depending on who came in or whatever. And one of the things when talking to them, like it seemed like there was this real resurgence, and this was probably like 2 years ago when I had the shop, but there was a real resurgence of D&D being played, where like I would see like a lot of younger couples, like a boyfriend and girlfriend, they would tell me that they would go to their friend's house and like 4 or 5 of them would get together and they would play D&D every Friday night, and that was their ritual. So it seemed
I
to
did
me
that for years.
Yeah.
Right.
I played D&D from the time I was 18. Not D&D. I mean D&D like games, role-playing games.
Yeah.
Probably even before that, but you know, that didn't count because it wasn't like an actual made-up, you know, pen and paper thing. It was just like, hey, we're playing characters.
Right.
But until I was 18, and then we did like,
they're like,
then we
oh
did
my
pen
gosh,
and
you mean
paper.
there's,
So
like,
like I got
games
introduced to
that tell us how to
Shadowrun and all different, all these other different pen and paper games, and it was really interesting. I didn't get into D&D until later, so yeah, that was a ritual.
Jedi Rozier says, I remember remembering over 100 phone numbers in my head.
Yep.
Right. And now I couldn't even tell you anybody. I don't know my husband's phone number by heart. And I mean, I should. I barely know my phone numbers.
Yes, times they have that. And actually I was thinking about that. There was it's way up here, so I don't even know if I'll find it. But Jedi Rozier was saying something about the only people that he really talks to nowadays were his own family and like people in the lightsaber groups, because that was his here we go. See, I think this is the comment. Meeting people at the mall, that's been forever. Most people I talk to as of late, last 2 years, I only talk to the lightsaber and cosplay people that I've met over the years, or met online over the years. So it seems like, you know, that talking about the D&D made me think that like it only seems to be kind of our interests that kind of keep us together nowadays. Whether that's cosplay or D&D or
possibly,
I think it was that way. I think it's been that way for a long time. I just think that
Yeah.
there are more opportunities now, whereas there weren't a lot of comic book conventions, you know, back in the day when you know, dads would come home from work and drink a couple of glasses of scotch and have their dinner and go to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
you can thank Star
occasionally
Trek
they
for
go
that.
golfing or whatever. You know. Sorry, it was
You can thank
channeling
Star
Mad
Trek for
Men.
that. Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry.
but I mean, no, and that's right. Like Star Trek, Star Wars, that opened up a whole bunch of stuff, and then people went, "Wait, it's okay to be a nerd. We can have nerdy things," and then things exploded from that, and now we're reaping the benefits of it. But and just like, you know, and technology is the next big thing, and we'll reap the benefits of that. We may not, but our, you know, children and grandchildren probably will. So I mean, it's crazy, and maybe this is the byproduct of that, is that there are more people that feel lonely because they're not as connected traditionally, and now they have to learn how to connect in a different way.
Unless you adapted to how you meet people, how you interacted with people earlier on, I think that is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like I met a lot of friends that I have, most of them still, through the internet, you know, so it's just really interesting. And I talk to people all the time. really knows on AOL.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for the internet, none of us would probably have ever met.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm just meaning when I was like 10, 11, 12, I just mean like that.
Yeah.
So it was something
Yeah.
for me. It was like, and I'm sure for you too, Graveyard, because you're not much older than I am. But it's something that we're able to adapt to much easier because that technology came earlier in our lives than others.
Yeah.
Like whereas the cell phone came when I was like 18, and you have like these 10-year-olds who have cell phones and they're just whizzes at it because they were introduced to it earlier in their lives, so they have time and their brains are still developing and growing, and so the connections are made that way. So we don't know how that's going to affect when they get older, how that's going to affect them.
And that's why we're considered millennials, is because we grew up analog, but in our teenage years went digital.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's kind of funny. I've heard theories about, like, you know how we you always hear about like stories of like abduction and stuff, and it's always like the picture of the Greys with like the big eyes and like the big heads and long spindly fingers or whatever. There was theories that was actually human evolution from the future, humans from the future visiting us because of the technology. Our eyes would grow bigger to take in more of the visuals that we're used to. Our heads would expand and our fingers would get all twiddly so we could type all the keys on our phone.
No, hey, at this point, I'm convinced. And whatever aliens are, whatever.
Jedi Roger says, I was close to meeting Force. Well, that's because Force is the famous one on the dais.
I don't went over in the corner that has nothing to say apparently.
Wait. When was what? He was close to meeting me. When?
Do you know who this person is? Jedi Roger?
Rogar.
Man, I made it all fancy and shit. Tarzan.
No, he's bought a few of my fonts and he's on Instagram. So, but I mean, in real life, no, I don't know who he is.
Maybe he's standing outside your window right now.
Yes, he is.
Why would you do shit like that? Like, why would you say some stupid shit like that, dude? I already got freaking ghosts in my house.
I can't see your background anymore. This looks like you're in the fifth dimension right now, as far as I can tell.
No,
how are your ghost friends? I have not seen them in a while. I'm a little worried.
My dogs have chased them away. We're good.
Okay, he says at MegaCon 22.
Oh, damn, that's right. I remember now. I'm sorry, dude.
Clip that mess.
Forrest is too famous to remember everyone.
Like, don't worry, I'll forget you last.
I'm gonna let my dogs out now.
I guess now that you have, I guess I should just, not tell him about the Fae I'm sending over to his house then.
Uh-oh.
Are you saying that I shouldn't leave out a saucer of milk and some honey on the toast piece of bread?
What?
I'm saying that Graveyard, now that Graveyard's got his Ghostbuster thing, he can go to and trap it.
I mean, it's
why not?
Just so you know, if a half of a bread with jelly on it lands upside down, you're in the presence of Satan.
Only one piece of toast. That's all you need.
Only one piece of toast. It's one piece of toast.
Just one.
Half a part of a sandwich.
Yeah.
You guys are talking about the Fae?
We're talking about Devil from M. Night Shyamalan.
That terrible M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yes, I'm subjecting Salem to that next month.
Okay. I'm gonna have to meet that man.
All right, since I thought Forz is taking his dogs out, that might be a good time to transition to our next topic.
We'll let the cat people go first.
Ooh, let the cats out. Oh, let the cat people go first. Ooh. Well, I've seen a couple of cats pop up on this webcast itself. I am a cat person. And I'm a cat person primarily because I'm too lazy to be a dog person.
I don't know.
I know myself well enough.
My cat's needy enough. As you could tell, he like to ever be alone. He's like, Mom. I'm sure you've seen him come like at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I've got 3 dogs that are literally all in this room, all asleep, just waiting for me to stop what I'm doing so we can all go to bed. But yeah, but I didn't like cats when I was younger. I was just not about them. But I really have learned to appreciate cats. Like some of our really close friends that we go over to their houses for dinner and stuff, they have cats, and I just adore their cats. So I'm actually thinking of getting a cat now. So,
Aww.
But I have to wait until one of the dogs passes because she'll kill the cat. So she has issues with cats, and so I don't want to traumatize her any more than she already has been. So,
Jedi. Okay, what is it? What did I totally screwed? Now it's stuck in my head. Roger. What was it? What is it?
No.
Rogar. That's it.
Rogar. Jedi Rogar.
I've had dogs who currently have had a cat for 12 years now. What? So what? Obviously, you're a dog man, there, Mr. Graveyard.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even a question. Won't even have a cat in your house.
Forever, I was allergic to cats.
That's why.
So, and yeah, just growing up because I couldn't be by cats, it's just it became a natural aversion. And I went through my allergy therapy, got all allergies away, so I can be around cats. I don't have issues with cats per se, with like my friends' cats and stuff like that. But if I go to someone's house, especially was growing up, and they had a dog, they're like, "Where'd Graveyard go?" He's with the dog. he goes find or the dog comes find him, and they become best friends. Yeah,
cats will do that too. They just showed it differently. You actually have to earn their trust.
I know.
Earn their trust.
I mean, I've been bitten by more cats than dogs. I used to go up to dogs and go, "Ooh, doggy." And
they will teach you about consent.
Exactly.
You haven't met Morgan. Morgan will just fall over and love you. Like that. That's Morgan. My cat is just. He's really a dog. Like he's a child, but you know what I mean. He's a human. He's a human in a cat body, but also a dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's just my dad hates cats, so we never had a cat. We always had dogs. We had dogs and parakeets. And like I said, I just like dogs just because the protection of the house aspect of it I like a lot. I do like that. When we got our second dog, when my older dog that my wife got before we got married, she died a couple of years ago. And we're looking for our second dog. So we got a puppy about 4 years ago to help with the older dog just stay young and stuff like that. Go visit and stuff like that. But we would go to the Humane Society, so we always get adoptions and not puppy mills or anything like that. And my wife's like, "Oh, if you can go get the dog by yourself, pick out a dog." I go, "If you do let me do that, I'm gonna come home with all the dogs." But for me, I want the kids there, I want my wife there, and I want to see and meet the dogs and who they interact with, if they're interested in the entire family or not. My wife would argue that dogs are mine because they do like me the best. But I just want to make sure that anyone can touch them, that you raise them, especially when you get young kids. You put your hands in their food, you teach them all the stuff, and I think cats can do the same thing. Obviously, that they can be loving and affectionate and stuff like that too. Unfortunately, a lot of cats people meet are more strays, I'd say, in my area, as their experience with cats. But yeah, dogs I just like because of the companionship and the loyalty that I said cats can do it too. And like I said, the protection of the house, and and it's just like cats, you can be accepted into their pack, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like the protection aspect. I've been studying dogs for the last about year, and when I say studying, I mean just watching different YouTube videos on different breeds to figure out which one I would be most compatible with. More so than a cat. I never really think about it with a cat. When you get a cat, you just get a cat. You know what I mean? But with the dog, I'm really trying to figure out the breed and the temperaments, and where am I going to be at my life? Am I going to want a dog that's going to be full of energy that I got to take out running every single day, or more of a chill basset hound or something.
Right.
There actually is a lot of breeds of cat that do display different behavior patterns as well. You do like an
Yeah.
Abyssinian is very different than an American short hair. A Bombay is very different from a Persian. They have different personalities and different like traits, quality traits that you can get. Like Bombays and Abyssinians, for instance, they're very intelligent. They love water. Abyssinians especially, they love water. Like I mean,
Right.
they want to be everywhere water is. That's what they want. And Bombays will do that too. I had a cat, I think had Bombay, and when I would take a bath, he would have to be in like on me, like basically like in there in the water, and his tail would just be in the water, and he was like living for it.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's oh yeah. So they have very different, very interesting quirks depending on the breed of cat. Like I think Morgan has Ragdoll, and Ragdolls are known for their excessive cuddleness. That's why they make good therapy animals. Because they just go limp. They love it. They just love to be held, and that's just that's a breed trait. So there are traits that you can get. There are if you're looking for a certain type of cat, you can look at breeds and get a certain breed. I wouldn't recommend that because then again, you got the kitten mill, which is not great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there
I
are
have,
breeds out there for people who need certain like qualities, just like a
and
dog.
I wonder too, because there's a lot of people that have like indoor outdoor cats. Like my cat is strictly an indoor cat. And my cat is like Jedi was saying over here. Um he says, except mine, he's great. New people, greets new people at the door. He's a man whore. My cat's the same way. He's such an affectionate, like, cat to anybody that comes into the house. But I think it's because he's a housebred cat. Some of these, what are you yelling at me for, Mezzo? I didn't do shit.
Oh no! Oh,
Maybe you're
Premier
supposed
Mommy
to.
is mad. Oh no!
My
What
mom
did
is.
you do?
I feel like a shunkle is going to hit me in the head at any moment now. Um, God, I didn't even know what I was saying. Oh yeah. My cat, because he's an indoor cat, I think he's a lot more affectionate. And I remember I had one friend that when Zayo was a baby, like the cat would go, and when Zayo was sleeping on the couch, like I'd go to our friend's house. This was a friend's cat. The cat would sit next to Zayo, and if anybody came near Zayo, the cat would like that until Zayo woke up. Then when Zayo was awake, people could come and like be around him. But some cats are just like fierce protector cats.
Yeah.
There have been tales of cats actually saving their families' lives. Like they've woken them up when there was a fire. They've again, this is not a detractor from dogs. I'm not really either. I love both. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like,
Me too.
my experiences of cats, and they do differ depending on the. I had a cat named Kiara, and as I said, she didn't have a name; she had a title.
Mhm.
She was a dragon, and she was just dependent. Like she was a thing. She was she was
She
a
was a lot.
she was a dragon. She was a lot. Yeah, we all loved her. She was as cute as a button, but oh my god, was she insane! And
Yeah, cats.
Charles can attest to this. She was insane.
They're either fierce assholes or loving as hell. There's like no middle ground for
Oh yeah.
cats.
Well, yeah. I mean, they do teach you about consent. If they do not want to be held, they will let you know. They don't want to be pet. They're like, nope.
Yeah.
Except unless you're Morgan. Morgan is a really bad barometer because he's like, yes, all the loves. Give me all the loves. I'm here. That's Morgan.
Yeah, and I know. Okay, so Frey, do you
Yeah.
have a black dog?
I have two corgis, the Pembrokes. So they're actually the red. So they're red and white. And then I do have a dog that is a mixed breed, and she's black and she's mostly white with black and brown
So she has
spots.
black on her, but she's not black. She's not
Yeah.
like mostly black. What about you, Grave? Do you have a black pet?
Yeah.
Because I think all the rest of us have black pets,
Yep.
right? Fours, I think, has a black dog. I know Aubrey has a black cat. I have a black cat. What does Mets have? Does Mets have pets? Do you have pets, Mets? Or just children? They count as pets.
She says she doesn't have any pets.
One of her cats is black. Oh, okay. I don't have any pets, but my mom has 2 cats and a family dog. See, black cats are the best.
Mm. Black cats are the best.
All right, Mr.
Ty,
Floyd,
the Dark
Mr.
Swordsman. What's up,
Dogman.
Ty?
I used to have a border collie and a Dalmatian, so I did used to have.
You
animals
are
that
like
were
part of the Tuxedo Club.
I was like, I don't know why, and I wanted for the longest time, like if I ever got a horse, I wanted a Palomino paint, but it had to be a black and white one. And I'm like, what the heck was that about? I was so extra when I was younger. I'm like, seriously? I'm gonna slap myself upside the head. I've been like, listen here, prima donna. So
That's okay. I had an affinity for Arabians, so.
Well, Arabians are beautiful horses. So
I mean, they are, and I love Friesians as well. But yeah, Arabians, and thoroughbreds, I tended to really bond with those.
After a good run, and they're a little sweaty, and they just look sparkly. Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
I want to ask that question in a second. Except for I want to go back to Say Wong. I
go
want to
ahead.
ask you. Say Wong. Say Wong said never understood mass hysteria with cats. I'm wondering what that meant. Like mass hysteria isn't a good thing or a
The
bad
internet
thing.
loves cats.
Mm-hmm.
Could you clarify? Are you talking about, because when you say hysteria, it usually has to do with like people going into
I'm just wondering,
hysterics?
is he saying like he doesn't
usually has to do
understand
with the
why
Beatles.
people like cats, or he doesn't understand why people don't like
or
cats?
like goo-goo. Yeah, that.
And then I wanted to ask both of you ladies on the screen, why are little girls, or is it a stereotype, or is it like kind of a true thing? Why are little girls associated with loving ponies all the time?
Have you seen horses, like little baby horses, like ponies? Any baby things I loved when I was growing up. I'm like, oh, it's a baby bunny. I'm in love with
They're
this baby
powerful.
bunny. Yeah.
They're smart.
That's true. Yeah.
They are
Intelligent.
they're intelligent. You can't just tell a horse what to do.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to form a relationship with them. I'll recall there was a horse that was on our property, and his name was Buck. And there was one time where his owner, I'm guessing it was his owner, was riding him, and he was just kicking him. And he had spurs and trying to make him go, and he just would not go. He would not. And so you can't make me, you can, but you have to communicate with the horse. Just doing that, that's not gonna, so, oh yes, I'm gonna suddenly, obey you unless you abuse the horse to the point that it gets traumatized, which I was worried about. Poor Buck. I was so angry that day. Because Buck and I had a friendship. We were communicative as a human and a horse. Like he came and laid his head on my lap. It was there was a special bond there. And when I had
that relationship with horses.
That took a while. I mean, and then with his mother Mabel, I spent hours with her because we got her. Like she was given to us. She was a barn sour, so I ended up spending like 3 or 4 days saddling her, or 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 hours a day saddling her, and then trying to train the barn sour out of her.
Yeah.
And when my siblings and my mom tried to ride her, she was not happy. She did not. She threw them off. And so there is a connection that does happen. And I think most of the time it's just kind of society, like, oh, little girls love little ponies.
Yeah.
Something is cutesy and girlish or whatever.
Yeah,
they're
it's like
girlish,
but
they're not.
Are gonna like, and that kind of stuff. But
they're powerful.
My grandparents had horses, and so I grew up with horses, and so I think that's part of it. But then there was like
French
My
war
Little
horses.
Pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like My Little Pony, there's My Little Pony, like, and then you had like what was
it? Yeah, Whistler North Star all the way.
Right. The Last Unicorn.
Heck yeah.
The Last Unicorn.
I love that. I love that movie.
Like every girl
I still love that movie. It's such a good story.
I call it murder horns now, but because they are.
And you also had Rainbow Bright with Starlight.
Yeah. Oh, She-Ra and her
And She-Ra had a winged horse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're like It was all about and I had all the dolls and the horses, sparkly horses for She-Ra. I had those. I have them.
I had North Star. I had Wind Whistler and North Star. I don't know where they went. They might be in my little treasure box actually, but they were like my prize, My Little Pony.
Yeah, I mean, but that was yeah. That's something that girls have always liked horses, and it may come from the fact that you could also get on a horse and ride away.
Yes. There is a thing about getting on something and having it move. And also without you necessarily, on its own, it will take you away from danger.
Yeah. So, I mean, that, whereas dogs
yes,
are great.
Unico is my spirit animal. I feel like I'm Unico. Like that's like when I'm not being the Velociraptor, I'm Unico. Sure, you either get the Velociraptor or the Unico. That's what you get.
All righty. Okay.
All right, Forest White Dogs.
Yay.
Yes, Forest White Dogs.
My whole life, I've been around dogs since I was a small child. My grandmother bred dogs, raised dogs, always labs. It's been labs my whole life, and always will be. I got a black one and I got a chocolate one, and I love them both. They're just amazing, loving, beautiful, wonderful babies. They're my babies.
They're the babies.
You were indoctrinated into the lab tribe. You had no choice.
No.
No.
Would never get any other type of dog?
No.
I've been okay. So the dog that I've been researching that I like the most, which was a little surprising to me, was a Doberman Pinscher. I've been they're beautiful dogs, but they're really, really intelligent. And I guess they're called Velcro dogs, meaning like they're just stuck to your side the entire time. And supposedly they're really intuitive. Apparently they're one of the only dogs that, like, when you're talking to them, they look you directly in the eyes. Like, for most other dogs, that's a sign of like aggression. But with Dobermans, for them, it's their sign of understanding, is they'll look at you, and I guess that freaks out a lot of people.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Do you have a Doberman?
No, but I look my dogs in the eye all the time. They just want that. They are my babies. They're great. Like when Salem comes over, and our younger dog Buffy, if we ask her like, you want to give him a hug, and she will go up there and just put her body against whoever you tell him to give her a hug to.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Do you guys look at your dogs like they're like children?
Yes.
It sounds like both you and Aaron are very like loving with your dogs.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, my youngest corgi, I call her the baby. I'm like, "Are you the baby? Are you the baby?" And she knows exactly what it means. She actually hugs me. I ask for hugs, and she puts her head up on my shoulder and and I hug her. And that's a hugging thing. She was asleep on my lap about 30 minutes before we started. So I was like, oh, I don't want to move. She's asleep right now. It's very much so. And our older corgi, she's our little old lady, but she loves my husband, which is funny because she did not like him at first. She would get in between us and make sure that there was space between us and all sorts of stuff. But now she follows him around everywhere. And then our mixed breed, who's asleep like right next to me, she actually, whenever Liam's here, she's always in the room with him. So we like each have our own dog, which is really funny. Hardly ever works out that way. Usually it's one person, but they do mind mom. I'm the alpha, and they all know it. But no, I was gonna say, like Graveyard. Anytime I'm talking to Gal, she looks me right in the eye. So, I mean, she's just like, what are you saying? I'm listening to every word you say, Mom, kind of thing. So I think, if they have if they trust you, they are going to look you in the eye because they know you're not going to attack them and they're not out to attack you.
Well, they also say that a lot of dogs have evolved to have more eye muscles, to more human-like in the eyes, so they can look. That's the idea of puppy eyes. is that trust they build with people that they just genetically have been known to do that now. Just look people in the eyes, without aggression is a sign of affection now for dogs to look people in the eyes.
Ooh, so James says, so what? Are we arguing dogs are better?
I see the
whatever.
green.
I don't think he said anything.
We're not
So
saying they're
my
better.
cat
We're
does
pointing
this-
out the differences.
So my cat does that kind of puppy dog eye thing. It's
Yeah.
a little different, but he does that thing. He gets up. When he wants treats, he will get up onto the ledge, and then he does this. And if I'm like ignoring him or anything, he goes like on my back or whatever, and then he'll just do it again. He'll be like,
Pardon
like,
me.
hey lady,
Excuse
yeah.
me.
He'll do it very kind of politely. He'll do it politely, except his claws can kind of get into my, like, if I'm wearing a sweater or something, and I'm like, rude. And then he just waits there very politely, and he looks at the bowl, and he looks at me, and he looks at the bowl.
Such a gentleman.
And then he'll reach out again.
See,
if I ignore him.
Okay, here's the deal, James. I like a cat because I can leave on a Friday night, clean the litter box, leave plenty of food and water, and come back Sunday and know that everything's going to be okay. I didn't have to hire anybody extra.
I'm amazed your cat was not mad at you. I'm just amazed by that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just because of the lifestyle that I've lived, because I've always had
Maybe it's
multiple
adapted.
jobs, so
Yeah.
I'm not home a lot of the time. So a lot of times my cat's just used to, but like my son and I will go to Reno for the weekend and then, come back and the cat's just like, hey, he doesn't leave a mess for me or anything like that. So I like the versatility.
Cleaned up all the party supplies from his Rager weekend.
I have had cats get so mad at me if I've left and like not told them I was going or anything, and like whenever it's like I'm packing it, they always know when I'm about to leave. I think that's just my friends' cats are the funniest. My friend Mel, whenever they sense that she's about to go anywhere, they like have a riot. It's really funny to watch, actually.
That's great. Yeah, my dogs are always like, "Where are you going? Why are you going there? Are we going with you? We must go with you." And I'm like, "No," But we do take them on car rides and stuff and walks, so that's cute. But they have a huge backyard, so we just throw them out in the backyard.
I get an earful from that one whenever I get home.
I guess because my cat's always indoors, I don't have to worry about fleas and ticks and all that stuff too. That's another advantage of cats over dogs.
That's true.
I want to have a comeback, but we just had a dog sitter today. See, I told you.
You want to have a
I finally got one.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
You wanted to say something snarky.
James? No, James never
snarky.
say. Not James. He's never snarky.
You mean Jamez?
Jamez 2000.
No, but I love cats too. I mean, they're cats shed a lot.
They do.
And
not more so than dogs, though. I mean,
not more than my corgis. No, absolutely not. I think they pick 1 week a year to not shed, and the rest of the time they're shed. So
yeah, I've seen from like just combing a dog being able to make a whole another dog.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you've got the dogs that have the double coats, or they're the herding dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you could make a dog every day out of the hair that comes off.
So my roommate, who's still actually one of my really close friends, my other roommate that I had before I moved here, she got a German Shepherd, and within the first week, that dog cost her almost $4,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. She got sick the first day. Like, she took her home, started vomiting, and it was like an emergency vet. So it was like $1,400 just to get her in. And then there was an additional thing. And then I think it was like a day or two later, she left her in the car, in her rental car, for a moment to go inside, made sure that there was air conditioning and everything. And the dog had a anxiety and tore apart the car.
Oh my gosh.
A rental car.
That's crazy.
That great. Yeah. So that was, yeah. So dogs can be a lot.
Yeah.
They are worth it, but they are a lot.
Yeah. Our oldest, she actually when she was a puppy, she almost died because the fleas were getting at her so much. I took her to the doctor, and they thought she had some sort of like mental condition and thought she was going to die, and wanted to give her a blood transfusion and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? And turns out, no, it was the fleas. She was anemic, and I just needed to put some extra protein in her food to keep her from dying or having seizures. And yeah, so I was like, oh my God. So that was interesting. I mean, she's right below me right now. I'm petting her right now, and she just turned 10. So obviously she's doing okay. She's got some weight on her now, so those fleas ain't hurting her so bad. My proxy girl.
I like James's comment. Dogs are like toddlers and fun kids. Cats are like angsty teens that just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
And more money from the Starbucks app.
I got my deepest of the cat. Yeah. That's funny.
That is it. The cat, well, it's the whole mindset. The dogs are like, hey, you're our people. And cats are like, oh, you're our pets. Yeah. They're like, you serve me.
I mean, it depends.
Like, we serve you. No, I'm just kidding. That's like
yeah,
it's like
I know. Of course it is. It's a misstatement, but yeah, it is. I agree. I mean, to a degree, like, I mean, they're like, how can we serve you? Oh my gosh! But I mean, has any of you ever seen the sad cat videos or the sad dog videos?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, like when their
it's
owner
really
dies
funny.
or something, and they go like lay by their grave. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was talking about there's this thing called the sad cat or the sad dog, and it's someone narrating from a dog's point of view, like they're sad because they're depressed because of this reason, and it's like my master didn't tell me I was a good boy today. I'm going to chew a shoe in protest. It's like stuff like that. It's very funny.
Is it Frank?
I think so, yes.
Oh, dude, I love his nature videos.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I mean, he has a sad cat and he has a sad dog version, and then there's like deer kitten and a deer puppy too.
Oh yeah, the deer kitten is hilarious. The deer puppy was just like, I am so done with you. That's all it was. Can you please just stop? So.
Yeah, I mean, you just have the different ones. Different cats, different animals are all different. I've had so many different cats and so many different dogs because I've had a lot of dogs. We had a golden lab, unknown specimen mix. We thought it was coyote.
Well, that's spicy.
And he was one of the smartest dogs I ever knew. Sans the dog that I had when I was very young named Brutus. But that's what I'm talking about. Mozart, we call him Mo, he was so smart that he would learn things so quickly that you only had to tell him a command once.
Yeah,
if it was simple. If it was complex, it took him maybe 3 or 4 times. He was so intelligent. And that's a I don't know where I was going with here. But he had his own personality of things too, and he would train other dogs to do those things. It was really interesting. Like if they were out of line, he would correct them. So it's they do have that, but they do have that pack mentality. But they need you in a sense to survive. Cats, they don't necessarily. I think that's why people get upset. I was going to say something else, but my brain popcorned and I ADHD attack. Go to somebody else.
That's okay.
James definitely has certain feelings on cats. I can see that right here.
Clearly, he's a cat lover.
What cat? No, I was going to say that. So I have 2 corgis, an older one and a younger one, and they're different too. So even within breeds, you can get different personality traits, just depending on what it is. Like Gal is completely cuddly, lovey, and just super excited. And Proxy is, I will maybe lean up against you just to tell you I love you for 5 minutes. And other than that, she doesn't want to have anything to do with anyone. She just wants to sleep under people's feet. And, that's how they are. So even within breeds, I'm sure it's the same with cats, even within cat
I saw
breeds.
I saw that with Dobies. They were saying that the difference between males and females is the males will tend to be more, I know, goofy and playful for longer in the years, whereas the females tend to be more motherly as they get older.
Yeah.
They're more protective and watching. They play less. So it's the difference between the males and the females, even within the breeds, I guess.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's why I only get female dogs, is because they're supposed to be more protected, more motherly, especially with the young kids when I had them. I just like female dogs more. Ow.
Yeah, all mine are female. Yeah. And there's some that when you
Female
have
dogs are great.
2 to 3 dogs, sometimes it gets a little tense because everybody's hormonal. And so it's, let's fight directly over mommy, which for who gets to sit in mommy's lap. And mommy's like, nobody gets to sit in my lap because y'all are going outside, but I mean, dogs are a lot. I've known people that have had cats that were a lot, that have like multiple cats, and they're just like, all over the place. And but yeah, I mean, pets, I like to think pets take on parts of your personality. So
James, you're so late.
My hat.
Like an hour ago. I just love giving him shit.
I think it just depends a lot on life. I think as I'm getting older, I'm looking forward to a time of having a dog. But like, in my younger self with having jobs and taking care of my family, I've really liked having a cat. I've liked having an animal that I can play with and kind of give attention to 10 or 15 minutes here and there, but not just be stuck doing that for an hour or two. You know what I mean? My cat comes, he gets his little 5 or 10 minutes of affection, and then he wanders off, and I'm good too. Yeah, and then he comes back, an hour later, and I give him a little more, and then he wanders off. And that's kind of our pattern.
Yeah, cats are much more self-sufficient. Like dogs are not as self-sufficient. So they tend to be the ones where they're like, hey, are you going to feed us? Hey, are you going to do this? Hey, what are we doing right now? And cats are like, hey, I'm over here doing this. You do what you want. You do you, I'll do me. And at some point, we'll get together and talk about it.
Unless you die, I'll eat your face within 30 minutes.
Well, dogs wait a day, maybe.
Dogs wait a little more time.
Yeah. Eventually, they'll all eat your face. So.
Damn. Hey, we've got most. Too bad Anthony wasn't here. I was telling Metz, one night when we get our because this tends to be our main group right here, minus Anthony, and then David, who hasn't showed up for a while. I wish David would come back, but
I know we missed you, Dave.
2.5 months now.
Yeah,
Dave. I don't care if you got a goddamn job. Screw your job. We're more important. But yeah, when we get Anthony on here, I want to get a shot with all of us, all of us in this kind of format, so that we can put out little promo posters and stuff like that for the show.
Oh, that'd be fun. Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be fun.
I might actually put makeup on and do something with my hair.
Gives me a little more.
This sounds like it's gonna be us. Yeah, it's gonna be the girls are gonna glow up a little bit.
Yeah, we're just gonna have
the queen. I gotta.
I'm gonna try to recruit Aubrey and Anthony to come out. Oh, I said this before Aubrey came on, but I'm trying to recruit them to come out to KYBER CON to represent the KCP family at the table. They can sign little autographs for people.
I would want Anthony to do my makeup though.
There you go.
Shit, I don't even wear makeup, and I want Anthony to do my makeup.
At the table, it could be like a presentation.
Dude, Anthony is amazing with his makeup. Like,
yeah.
when it's done, I'm like, dang, I just want to.
We could have him do a makeup panel.
There you go.
So amazing.
All right, guys. We are coming up to that hour, that time of night. Why don't we just start right here? Vogue.
Yes. Gorgeous woman, you. Yes.
What's up, Frey? Tell them who you are.
I am Frey Girl, the talent. No, I'm Frey Girl. And yeah, you can catch me here most Fridays. I took a little time off. I apologize. It was a little weird, but it's been settled. I should be back most Fridays. And I'm occasionally on Distance Nerding. What up? And you can catch me Monday through Friday on The Break Room. In the live chat there, I do the modding for new rock stars. So if you're ever on Discord and want to come say hi to me, Mezzo does it too. So you can always come and say hi there, or catch a break room and say hi to us there. I'm Frey Girl there too. So hey, there we go. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok as Gotham_Oracle. Twitter, Facebook. Well, Twitter, I'm Frey Girl. Facebook, I don't really do Facebook because I do Instagram, and so really catch me on Instagram or Twitter. That's probably going to be the best. But yeah.
All right. And screw you, Say Wong. All right, next. Wars.
That was
Wars, you got a question down there too. You're going to be able to do MegaCon 23.
Unfortunately not. I'm actually going to be going out of state in March, which is, as a matter of fact, I'll be gone the same week that MegaCon's on. So going out of state in March, and I'm going out of state in April, but y'all know why I'm going out of state in April. So yeah, sorry, Rogar, I'm not going to be MegaCon this year. So I'm Forz FX. You can find my work on saberfont.com. I encourage you to go to kybercave.com and get yourself a Saber. Go to Saberfont and support all your font artists there and get some sounds put on there. Other than that, you can find literally everything I'm doing now right here on this channel, Kyber Cave Productions. So many videos, so many lives, so many recorded, so many friends, so little time. And it's a freaking blast, and I'm loving all of it. So it is pretty freaking incredible.
Tour de Force. Force tours. And again, I would like to reiterate, screw you, Say Wong. All right.
And don't forget to like the stream, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe.
Ooh, yes. And check out our Patreon.
Oh yeah, Patreon. We have Patreon.
Yeah, it gives us more resources to do more of what we want to do.
As little as $1 a month.
As little as $1.
$1.
Yep.
All right, Graveyard.
All right, so I am Graveyard. I am co-host of the Mostly Pilot Night Mostly podcast, which releases every Wednesday. You can get that any place you find your podcast. Our website just went live today, and so we have merch too. So we have merch. So go out there, check it out, subscribe, listen to it, share it. If anyone that you like horror movies, and just listen, it's a blast. I enjoy it so much. And then besides that, I'm with these wonderful people over here with Kyber Cave Gaming and Cave After Dark, doing lots of fun stuff, lots of great stuff coming up too. I'm really ecstatic for it.
Lots and lots of fun. I can't. God damn it! All the comments are just like coming in right at the end. Y'all want to be fucking quiet during the whole rest of the show, and when I'm trying to close out the show, I can't even get through the end because of all the comments coming in.
This is why we give you so much shit.
All right, did we go?
Hi. Well, you can find me doing lots of things with these beautiful people, and also just so you know, Case and Point.
Oh, there you go.
You got
the cat is on the lap. The cat is on the lap. It's a cat. Yes, he's very fluffy, a fluffy cat.
Jesus, Van, what did you say?
I already said.
No. Let's not go there, buddy. Harassment.
Just a minute there, Aaron.
I had to process it for a second. Like, my God.
She stood up with a cat in her lap.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Just edit your video, Fours. Just edit your goddamn
All
video.
right.
So, yeah, I have, I'm part of a little band. We write original music. I do a lot of original composition for the shows. There's going to be more coming out, I promise.
Yes, and we have something fun for everybody tuning in tonight as we close out the show. Make sure you stick around till the end of the show. Go ahead.
And also go and listen to this man's podcast. It's amazing. I've listened to it. It's fantastic. It's so much fun. I want to be a part of it. I'm jealous. Frager is amazing, and so is Force. If you go and watch us, we do a lot of streaming. In fact, isn't episode 9 coming out soon?
It's
Is it 9
done.
or 10?
I'm rendering it, and it's going up on the YouTube tonight, like right now.
You're gonna want it. You're gonna want to watch it. It's hilarious. It's sad. It's funny. It gives you all the feels because Bad Touch Dave is coming.
It's
Uh-oh.
something. It's an interesting episode. I'll tell you that much.
It's something.
It's
It may
something.
traumatize you.
It very well might.
Yeah, but it's fun. So yeah, and of course, come and like and subscribe and watch my original music. Also, you can Mets. I would get your autograph from you.
Absolutely.
Me too.
And I had one more thing I wanted to say. Oh crap! Oh, and yeah, if you get on Spotify and you do find BYL, be sure to like it, and also go to where I have my original album that I put out in 2020 as well. And then yeah, that's really it. Also, I do acting. I wear all the hats. I write. I do everything. And well, sort of. I don't know how well I do it. Anyways, that's all I got for you.
You just do it. That's
I
all.
just do it.
And that's
Does it
good.
all. Aubrey does
I don't know
it
how
all.
well. I don't know how well these things get done though.
Extremely.
All
I
right.
hop around. I'm like Magikarp. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
I am Ark with Kyber Cave, and this. Did anything pop up? Oh, there it is.
Yes.
This is KYBER CON number 3, 2023. We've got a great lineup. Eric Voss just signed up yesterday. He officially announced with us. Tommy Bechtold, both of them, of course, from New Rock Stars. John D. Michaels, VIP number 1 from Squid Game, making his only U.S. appearance here in Fairfield, California. Alan Fernandez, the last living Tuscan Raider from the original New Hope, will be here. And all the way from Texas, Mr. Joshua Pilla, world-class flow artist. You know those people that like throw lightsabers in the air and spin them all around their bodies and do all kinds of crazy things? That's what that guy does. So make sure you come out.
Awesome.
Tickets are on sale now. And ticket prices just went down because we have our wonderful sponsor. We mostly pod out at night. Mostly, we're able to drop our ticket prices to $10 in advance and $15 at the door. So make sure you get your tickets now. They are available, and if you're looking for a vendor booth, you can pick that up too. Do you even pop up? Oh,
It's taking the whole screen. That's so
James
funny.
says, I'm going just for Eric, not because he's art.
Oh,
James is not
okay,
going because he's our
James.
friend or anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not because he's going to support Kyber Cave, because we try to go and support DN, but just because of see how
Speaking
it
of
is.
which, go and watch Distant Nerding. Just
Yeah.
either I James, so you should love us more.
Make sure to check out kybercave.com. We've got all your Saber needs there, including other Saber fun stuff like earrings, socks, umbrellas, Saber related things, lamps. And don't forget, we are only 20 subscribers away from our next Saber giveaway. Yes, we give away Sabers on this channel. Every 50 subscribers, our next target number is 900. And, actually, no, we're less than 20 people because we're like 16 people away.
16.
So 16 more subscribers, and we give away another Saber. Then we only have 2 more Saber giveaways at the 50 point, and then after that, it goes up to every 100 subscribers once we hit that 1,000 person mark. So you would want to get in as soon as possible.
Subscribe now.
Subscribe. Make sure to check
The
out all
lightsabers
our
are
other
pretty
shows.
cool.
We just released a brand new show. I think there was some confusion. I think it went to our Patreon first, but I think it's going to start going to YouTube, then Patreon, but we'll figure it out. We just released a brand new show. Beatdown just started this week. That is lightsabers and a DJ over the top. We are now at 6 days a week of original programming. So I am like, it's all you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys.
And somewhere in the middle, we'll get a D&D game in there, or the New Order will be going in there. As soon as people make their freaking characters.
I am so excited about the New Order. Not excited about the New World Order, but the New Order I am all about.
So I'm excited about Captain America New World Order. What are you talking about? Sam Wilson is
I'm Captain Lady Moon, and I'm running a New Order. That's part of the reason why I have the Captain in there.
Real New World Order.
Yes, he's talking about NWO for life.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in. James, Jedi Roger. Man, we've had a lot of people tuning in tonight. I'm looking through this list. Who else am I? Gentlemen with Voices. Who else am I missing up there?
Say Wong?
No, screw Say Wong. That's the only one I was going to leave off the list.
Well, we love you.
All right, y'all. Thank you to everybody. Mets, we love you always, and we will see you next Friday. Please enjoy this outro created by our own Miss Aubrey. Peace. Are we off yet? I think we were off.
Yeah.
Still